Good morning, professional photographers of Idaho and beyond. I am Bob Ryder.
And I am Larry Fry.
He is Larry Fry, and we've got new digs.
Oh, man.
moved.
We moved to a brand new office.
We did. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Awesome.
Actually, I did a little behind the scenes video this morning and posted it over to the group page, the
nice.
Photographers of Idaho by PPI group page, kind of showing this. So they know we're not actually
In an office.
in an office,
Okay.
but we
Be better.
I'm digging it.
Spill stuff on the floor. Be somebody else cleaning up.
Apparently, I added carpet to my garage studio so it can absorb coffee.
Not me this time.
Not necessarily you this
Yeah.
time, right?
Exactly.
We've got a cool episode today, and what is going on over there?
You
Okay.
pause Windows updates, but you. God,
Okay, I'm
don't
gonna
be-
fix something off screen. It has nothing to do with our stream. I'm not fixing anything,
Yeah,
but we need that. So give me a second. Okay.
All right, we're back.
Well, we didn't really leave, which is great.
Yeah.
You can see us. We can't see you. Let's fire up our feed here this morning. It's another Friday, man, and I'm excited about being here again. It's really a good thing.
We had a great episode last week, so I have something for you today.
You have something for me?
I have something for you.
Oh, there
Because
we
you might as well.
I want to know who's here, and I can't see that yet. Turn this conversations on. There we go.
Hard to hear Larry. it
Hard
says.
to hear Larry. Okay.
Hello.
Actually, give me a subtle turn towards the microphone. I think it'd be good. Is that any better? Is that Sam chiming in over there? He usually comes in as professional photographer. Yeah, go ahead. Wait, I'm going to. All right. What? Here's what we're gonna do because I don't want to mess with this too much. I'm just gonna take this out of the picture. Check. Talk to the mic.
Check 1, 2.
Both now super muffled. How we
Hello.
doing? I think all right. We've got a good signal there.
Yeah.
I literally checked this 20 minutes ago. Everything was working great. That looks like it's working fine now.
Everybody chime in, please. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Got it? All right. I think we're good.
Better.
Okay.
Better.
It is in and out. Let's try a thing.
Stand by. Yes.
Good morning. That one's working. All right. And how's that? Check, check.
Check, check.
Good morning, everybody. All right, we're going to switch this over. Let's try that.
Check 1, 2. Is that better? No, it's going in and out. Testing 1, 2. There we go.
All right, folks, I think we're back. I actually just restarted the entire sound console, which I've not had a problem with before. Each day is an adventure. I probably don't need my geek phones on.
Listen, I brought something that's going to make your day better. Last week we had the episode where you demonstrated how to eat the donut.
Oh, yes, I
over
did.
the black over the black outfits, right? So today,
And I am wearing a black shirt today. You didn't. He totally did. So where I come from, it's the pink box. Do I have to do this on set? Like, this is going to be embarrassing?
Yeah, this is a.
It says we're muffled, but better. This should not be muffled at all. This should be screaming.
Well, hopefully you guys can hear us. We're going to have to go with this until we get.
This is what we've got.
Yeah.
We're getting a good signal strength up front, and I think that that's going to have to be the answer.
So, what I want to see is I want to see the lean over. Now they didn't have powdered donuts, which is a shame.
But you know, like the glazed
Yeah.
is just as problematic
So I want to see the lean over
with a donut.
with a donut.
You're going to make me eat a donut on our show?
Yes, I am.
That's great. All right. Let's do it, man.
All right,
I'm all about that.
Here we go.
All right. We are. So if you missed our issue last week, Michael Collins says 10-9. So he's asking me to repeat. Last week, I was talking about how to eat. So Michael Collins is one of our new members. Michael Collins is also a retired copper. And last week, Michael, I was talking about how to eat a powdered donut in a dark blue cop uniform. And I showed them how am I wide? Yeah. I showed them how you have to lean way over to eat the donut without getting the powder down the shirt front. So that's what that's about, Michael. I'm sure you can resonate with that. I wonder if Michael knows my coffee cup tip.
Oh, I bet he does.
I bet.
Yeah. Michael, we had the coffee cup tip last week, but I'm sure you know it. And that's the drink hole on the lid opposite the seam. So when you put your fingers on the seam, the drink hole is where it needs to be.
Where it needs to be.
So you can take a drink without, dumping it all over yourself.
Yeah. So if you're running code, you can still slurp your coffee while you're getting where you need to go. That's that. And like I said, yes, you do. I had lunch with Michael this last week.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
It was just a great time to sit and chat. And we almost had to arm wrestle over who gets to sit facing the door. That's just cop stuff,
I heard that story yesterday. That was a great story.
At the board meeting.
So
notice I was facing the door yesterday, even at Sam's place. It's just so habitual. But
notice that.
All right, I'm going in. I got a paper towel.
Notice at the beer place that we went to later, guess who took the door?
You put me on the backside. You know what you've got here? This is like the premium stuff here. It's the donut with the jelly in it. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a bite and you can talk while I'm chewing through that.
I want to see. This is the lean over.
All right, here's the lean.
So there we go.
The napkin's no fair. You got to just do the lean.
You guys can't really see this, but he's got a good foot between his mouth and there we go.
Lean over your shirt.
That was it was lemon filled.
Oh man.
Neither one of us should probably be eating these things.
Carry on.
So we won't bore you with that because those are probably going to go to his family. Anyway, we got a great show today. Waiting for Bob to get through. We have a great show today, and we hope you enjoy it. We've got Gas.
Can I have your napkin?
Yeah.
Because how am I going to do this touch screen with these fingers?
Oh, shoot.
Next Friday is like Valentine's Friday, right?
It is. Yeah.
Stand by.
Yeah. No onesies.
And
That's all I'm
serenade
saying.
you.
Yeah, no. Let's not do that. I don't want to see it.
All right.
There are some things you just can't unsee.
I'm not sure that they needed to see this either. All right. That's kind of we're going to get on track.
Yeah, we're on. We're back now. Yeah.
Well, and we've got a new member this week.
Yeah.
Whether he wants to be here or not.
Yeah.
So I just want to say welcome to Timothy Schmidt. I think he's out in Weiser,
Idaho. Yeah.
And it's just great to bring new folks on board and, just welcome them into the tribe here. we spend a lot of time talking about the tribe, talking about community, talking about collaboration over competition.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things that I've heard recently, the age-old question with okay, so you and I are maybe a little older. We've got some gray hair. Little.
Yeah.
We are the joiner generation.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard that from a very, very smart man about 2 weeks ago. And I thought, I want to belong to something bigger than me.
Yeah. And that's, if you don't belong to something bigger than you, you never know how big you really are, if that makes sense.
Well, or how
small you very are.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So we talked about this. So we had a great board meeting yesterday.
Yeah, we really did.
Awesome.
We're planning your convention.
Which I thought about this morning. I haven't run this past you yet, but I'll just roll it out anyway.
Yeah, roll it out. It's half of how we do most of everything.
That's
anyway.
true.
Like, here you go, man. Chew on this.
We got a great convention coming up. It will be a hybrid event. And looking at the task list after we got done, so Bob's got it all set up on a Trello board. And looking at that task list after we got done, I thought, we got a lot of work to do. And then I thought, no, the community has a lot of work to do.
Right.
And the community is going to include you guys to come and support us if that's all you do. So if all you do is to pay for convention and watch it at home wherever you're at, Sandpoint, I know
you are missing the whole point.
Yeah, Sandpoint, I know it's a ways away for you
Get
guys.
a pass,
Lewiston,
maybe.
Yeah, but
Amy's just the kind of person that might show up though.
So she might. Yeah,
and I think that's great. And there's other PPI members
and Corey Baumgartner, if you want to come up
She's
from
in Colorado,
come on up.
I bet Corey'd be here too.
She probably would if
She's
she could.
just that kind of person.
But I was just thinking it takes a community to pull this off, and that includes all of you people out there. So we're going to be making some ass here in the next few weeks.
Yeah. So can I talk about the format for our convention just a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. To say that I'm excited about this year's convention would be really not saying enough.
It's an understatement.
We've got a terrific venue at the Silverstone Plaza Event Center here in Meridian, right off I-80 and Eagle. And there's restaurants. There's a coffee shop in the parking lot. You don't have to pay for parking. It's ground parking. You don't have to do the gymnastics in the parking garage. The hotel, if you're coming into town, the hotel is literally next door. A walk through the parking lot. It's just a really terrific location. We've got a fantastic room with great technology in it. With all of that said, we're going to be doing a hybrid convention. We're going to do in-person stuff. We're going to bring some instructors in from around the country virtually as well. So there's going to be a mix of both in-person.
And the in-person stuff will also be broadcast virtually.
Well, I was getting to that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Just so instruction-wise, we're hoping to have live and some plumbed in, piped in instructors. For our viewers, you can attend live and you can also attend virtually because we're going to be streaming the whole convention from the main room. And I reached out to one of our more techie members this morning. He's in the technology sector in the civilian life, right? In the non-photographer life. He's in IT. And I reached out to him this morning and said, hey, you coming to convention? Right?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, absolutely. I said, great. Are you interested in a substantial volunteer opportunity? And I didn't want to downplay it because I'm going to ask him to be our digital tech for the whole entire convention through print competition, through day 2 with, I think we're going to have a fantastic keynote speaker that's going to show you something you haven't thought of.
And he's going to need help also.
He's probably going to need some help.
So again, it's all about community, and and we have a great start to this. I was pretty jacked up when I got out of that meeting because I think it's something that we can do and do well, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So April
really
9th, 10th, and 11th.
At the Silverstone Plaza Event Center right here in Meridian, off the I-84.
Mark those dates down, and we'll have more information to you.
Yeah,
just as
we'll have information about what kind of classes are being offered. We're hoping to do a good mix of some marketing,
the what, who, why, when, and where,
sales, lighting, all of the stuff that you want to come to convention for and get a good breadth of knowledge there.
We're going to jam a lot into 3 days.
Yeah, we really are.
So this is going to be this won't be hopefully it won't be a sit around and get bored thing. I don't think that'll happen. You're going to want to come and you're going to want to participate. And you're going to probably be tired at the end of it.
I know we're going to be tired, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
part of the process.
That's part of the deal.
So let's get into this week's topic. So we covered our announcement for the convention. We covered our new member, and let's jump into this next slide.
Let's do it.
So I've got gas.
I know.
And you've got gas.
I've got gas too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Larry and I spend a lot of time talking about our purchases. If you don't know what gas is, I'm going to come back here first. If you are not familiar with gas, it is gear acquisition syndrome.
And boy, do we have it.
I have it bad, dude. There's another, and again, this is probably a thing that Michael will resonate with. Mike comes from the same background I do. I mentioned that. I spent a couple of years doing fatal accident investigations, and it's not infrequent that an elderly person runs into the side of a building. You've seen that, like through the front of a store, that kind of thing. We have a name for that.
Old?
No. It's gas, and it is
geriatric
accelerator syndrome. And what that is they confuse the brake and the gas pedal. They mean to hit the brake. They hammer the gas pedal. It can be.
I've done it out at the salt flats.
And, the problem with that is the harder you press on the brake, you're actually pressing harder on the gas pedal.
That's
and
true. That's
the
true.
more forwardness you take with you.
I kid, because that is a real thing. I mean, I've seen.
I was with you driving out at the salt flats. Do we need to talk about that now?
No.
No.
I don't need to bring that
No,
back
I
up.
have video. I need to drop into one of these presentations.
That's old news. We don't
It's
have to
old.
bring it.
It's so fun. I won't even go there. Anyway, geriatric acceleration syndrome, or today we are talking about gear acquisition syndrome and what this looks like for me. Actually, I had some questions that I put into our Facebook feed this morning. I've never done that, so I don't know where they show up in our feed. But one of the questions is, what fantastic gear purchases did you make last year?
Ooh. So this is a problem when you have gas, deciding which one of those purchases was the best purchase.
Well, okay,
last year.
so maybe not the best. So what kind of stuff did you buy last year?
Well,
Yeah,
so I'm kind of a lighting junkie.
we both are.
So I bought the 300 Pro, and then I couldn't leave that alone because it came with a Bowen's mount adapter, which made that cute little 300 Pro into this massive
like a dinner plate.
Yeah, it's huge. So it has a Godox mount on the front,
A native Godox mount, and it's tiny.
Oh, it's bitty. Yeah. So what I do, I went out and bought the modifiers to
fit the new Godox mount.
new Godox mount.
So I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the 400, 300.
Yeah, that's another thing I bought, a 400 too. See?
So last year I transitioned from a fleet, and I say it like that because I had a bunch of them.
He had like 7 600s, right?
Yeah,
Pros.
the 8600 Pros from Flashpoint, which are the Godox R2 family. I had a fleet of those. And frankly, 600 watt second lights are crazy powerful for studio. I kept a couple of them for use when I need to light large groups. With those big Magnum reflectors, you can throw a lot of light, lighting a gymnasium or football field, anything like that. I kept a few of those. But I transitioned to the 400s.
Yeah.
They're smaller. I can fit the 400 with the native Godox mount on it right into my think tank bag with my cameras, and often run with a 400 watt second light like it's a strobe light,
And if you buy those soft boxes with the Godox,
they pack smaller because the
mount's
smaller. Yeah.
So it's almost like taking an umbrella, isn't it? I mean, they're like tiny. I should have brought one.
So what you're watching live is how Bob and Larry justify buying new lights. And this is the essence of gear acquisition syndrome.
Yes. It's not right. We just do it anyway.
What I did do is I passed along my 600s at a very reasonable price to other photographers who wanted to get into them. And
there's a couple people that were in Wendover that had some pretty big gear without batteries and stuff like that picked those up, and those are awesome for outside. You want to talk about
the 600s,
the whole thing about overpowering that big thing, the sun. That's another topic, but those 600s are well matched for outdoors and bright sunshine.
Yeah, they really are. So I kept a couple of those for that too, right? So Whitney Richardson says her favorite purchase was an 18-105 f4 lens, finally regaining my gear after all of it was stolen in 2017.
Yeah,
that is a horrible nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
And Kelly McGee is watching. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah. So who else do we have on board today? I know Michael's here. Sky's here.
Yeah. And I think that's Sam.
Yeah. Good stuff. Laquita. Hey, good morning, Laquita. Oh, we were talking about you yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Laquita. Your name came up for convention.
You were thrown under the bus, Laquita.
Yeah. You'll be expecting a text message from one of us, I think.
Yeah.
So I did that transition from the 600s to the 400s. You picked up a 300, which it's like the size of a lens.
It's like the size of a 70 to 200 lens.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, only a little shorter. And then to this what? So
let him have it.
My whole deal is light, quick, and fast, and outside shoot, set up, tear down, get out. Mainly because I carry this stuff in the field with me. I don't have a studio. I do on location stuff, and it gets, I'm getting older. It gets heavy. I'm an old guy. It gets heavy. That's neither here nor there.
I concur.
Yeah. So
we are on a bend to lighten the gear and make it more versatile.
So I'm looking at my kit the other day, and this is a planned gear acquisition syndrome. I love the Canon EOS M mirrorless. Now those are APC. They are not a digital SLR. Don't go off on me. I just like them. Okay. They're light and quick and fast
and capable.
And they have a new one that came out. Now this is a planned event. I was going to get a new one anyway.
Did you tell them what it is yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
So I'm planning on it's on an airplane. An EOS.
He's purchased it. He's just waiting impatiently.
An EOS M50 Mark II. But I got to think of, how great it would be if I could get everything into my backpack. Everything. Lights.
Everything you need.
Everything I need.
So let me guess. Everything in the backpack means you bought some of the new 100 Pros.
Yep.
How many?
So, I just got, I just have one, but
you're starting with one.
I'm probably going to have another one
before that one gets here.
Maybe. So the 100s are they're the size of a pop can, and they're 100 watts second.
They're literally the size of a soda can.
Yeah, and they don't have the Godox mount on. They have the Godox magnets like Magmod.
Okay.
The same thing that fits on their, what do they call it? The V1 or something like the round head. Yeah. And they also have a barn door. Anyway, they have some accessories that go with it. I'm not real enamored with their gels because they're not true gels. You can't go to a quarter CTO. It's a yellow, or whatever, orange. But the thing,
they're creative gels, not color correction gels.
Exactly. But they're literally the size of a pop can. So my whole purpose of doing this is I can take my M50 Mark II, 2 lenses, maybe even 3, the 300 and 2 100s inside my backpack.
That's awesome.
I can't wait.
I think one of the things that we get really hung up on as photographers is certainly, and you'll all resonate with this. If you're in a forum on Facebook and you're talking about what you like, somebody's going to tell you why you shouldn't like that.
Yeah.
Or what an idiot you are for liking that. And I know this was a problem with one of the classes that was taught at convention, is people were just maligning the guy for the equipment he was using. And I'm here to tell you, I'm a gear junkie. Actually, Mike and I were talking about this over lunch. He's a Nikon guy, runs the D850. Have you ever used the D850?
Yes,
that is one hell of a camera.
Yeah. Listen,
an absolute beast.
So we've even at Wendover, we preach this. We don't care what you show up with.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Laquita can vouch for this. I hope I get this gentleman's name right. I believe it was Sam. Came down with his phone.
Great.
Yeah. It was awesome. Got to show him, okay, you want to turn this off. You got to turn that. Actually, Kim worked with him, but turn this off, do this, do that. And he came out of there with some pretty good shots.
Awesome.
So we don't care what you shoot. At least I don't. Yeah. I don't care if it's Nikon, Olympus, Pentax, whatever.
I'm a gear junkie for Canon and for the R2 system of lighting. It doesn't, you know what? You want to throw Pro Photo in my hands. You want to throw Nikon in my hands. You want to throw a Sony, a Pentax. Is Pentax still in business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that and some of our bullet points is, you got to know your equipment, right? And then
That's
the knowledge of your equipment.
Dude, let's camp on that topic for just a minute.
Yeah.
One of the problems with gear is that you may never get, one of the problems with GA.S, the gear acquisition syndrome, is that you may never get to be fully knowledgeable about the equipment that you just abandoned. And so when I was running my 5D3, this was a couple 5-6 years ago, I was shooting some events and I wasn't thrilled with my autofocus, the performance. And what I was thinking is, they have championed this camera as having the most sophisticated autofocus system on the planet, and yet it's failing me in these basic event situations, which are your crappy lighting, really shadowy lighting, dim lighting, but this is supposed to be the camera for that. So I went on a witch hunt, and you've got this on one of our bullet points, which is research every available document. I found a document out of Europe, from Canon in Europe, that explained the autofocus system better than anything that I could find here in the States. And I took that document and I took some of my own knowledge and I wrote my own white paper, if you will, it's just a page or two, about the autofocus system in my 5D3. And doing so allowed me to better understand how that system worked, where those cross-point autofocus sensors were, where those were on my sensor. Understanding that solved my problems that I was having 100%. I was like, yeah, this is really very good.
Well, I got a tip for you.
Okay.
So, and I just found this out, and read every available document. Right? So I'm on looking at the video capabilities of this little camera, because that's part of what I wanted to do is video. And it's got the same thing that we run into here, the 2959 switch. And I found out why there's a 2959 switch in these cameras.
Yep.
But that's not the biggest thing that I found. So I'm not only reading, but I'm also watching on YouTube. YouTube's a great resource.
It is.
So some dude, I don't know where he's at, talking about the 2959 issue.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, look, just go into the Canon, the utility that used to come on CD, doesn't do that anymore, but the utility they give you a link to, download that. You can, as long as you turn it on to a single point of focus, you can shut that off. I did not know that until this morning.
You could shut what off?
The 2959.
Just by using their app?
No, not app. Their utility, the EOS utility, the old one that you used to get. Yeah. So I don't know.
Do you leave that running?
No, you just go in and you tell the camera with that, your camera's hooked to your computer.
Right.
You tell the camera, no, I want this enabled, and it enables it. And you can go into the menu then in the camera, and as long as you have it in single point of focus, you can turn it off.
We need to play with that with my 5D3.
I know. I don't know if it'll work with that one, but it does with that 50D Mark II. So there you go.
Learning stuff, man. It's all about learning stuff, right? So let's jump. So we've covered the read. We've talked about better knowing your gear and just digging into it a little bit. Sometimes even read the manual.
Yeah.
That is almost my default answer when somebody has a question on a forum. Like, I want to ask, have you looked at the manual? Because this is really like readily covered in the manual. But if they're, but I'm not going to say that. Like, I'm just going to answer the question and not be a dillweed, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump to what are some ways that they can beat GA.S? Oh, go ahead.
So Tacey says, do you still have that? We Canon users would love to see it. Tacey, I will link to that, but I actually need to do more research on that because it pertained to the particular camera I was looking at. I don't know that it pertains to the 5D.
I wonder if she's talking about that with the app, or if she's talking about my autofocus system document.
Oh, so Tacey?
Tacey, answer us with that.
Hi, Alan. How you doing?
Photography is from the soul.
Hi, Dennis. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Dennis. Oh, and Sherry. He says, Hammond's here. It's Bob and Larry here.
Yeah. So, and what we're kind of get to, so now I've made my choice on that little camera.
Yep.
I know it's got.
You love it.
I know it. Well, I do, but
that's all that matters.
I know it has limitations.
Right.
I know that the ISO range of that is not even close to an EOS R. I know that
because it's crop sensor, right?
So
maybe you understand the technology, right?
Right, but that might be a reason for me to upgrade. So if you know your gear, which is what we're saying, you kind of know on the gear acquisition syndrome what level you're going to be at, if that makes sense. So, like I know that little camera is not. You can't go outside at dark 30 and probably just take a picture
Shoot a
with
portrait.
it.
Yeah.
But I mean, cool.
You know what I feel like I need to do?
What?
Let me bump
Music?
cameras here.
Oh.
No, I need to say, hi, my name is Bob and I have gas.
Hi, Bob.
Sorry. All right, there we go. So let's talk a little bit about
hi, Katrina.
How can we deal with the gas? How can we deal with that desire to buy the next great thing? You know who has gas bad?
Sam.
Sammy, man, you got the gas bad too. And that's probably why we get along really well. I can count on going to his place, dropping in over his studio and seeing stuff I don't have.
Not that, but it's like, oh crap, I don't have one of those. That's cool. Yeah. So
got to keep up with the Joneses or the Sammys, whatever.
So let's talk about that just a little bit. So gear acquisition syndrome. I really need that 85 F1 I need that 85 F1 I've never shot with one yet. I own
that lens.
I do too. But anyway,
maybe that's not a great example.
Well, it is a good example because the example I'm going to use is, so are you going to step out and buy a $1,600 lens, maybe 18? I don't even know what they are anymore. They're expensive. Just to try it out? No,
you can rent it.
You can, but there's another option, and sometimes cheaper is better. Yeah. So Canon, this is just an example. I'm sure Nikon has the same type of a situation,
or Sigma,
or
Sony, Tamron. Yeah.
But Canon has a 80 millimeter f1.8,
85,
1.8. It's a prosumer lens. It's not a consumer lens, but it's not a pro lens. It's got the gold band on it. That thing's like $300. I mean,
which is better than the $2,300 I spent on my 85 one too.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. Yeah. That lens is brilliant. Now, is it weather sealed and is it all that stuff? No, and don't expect it to be.
Yep.
The other thing that Bob mentioned is rental. Why not rent?
So that's our next point here is how can we beat gas? And the couple ideas are rent. There's some good rental houses. I've used lens rentals a lot.
Or borrow lenses.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And there's another one that I can't think of at the top of my head, but they've both been great.
Yep.
I think even Adorama and B&H have rental departments. You can do that. The other thing that I do, sometimes borrow.
Yeah.
Borrowing can be tricky because you have to return the stuff in fully working order. And the best way to do that is to be fully insured when you're working. I was in a forum last night for real estate photography, and a photographer there had a calamity, dropped her camera with a big heavy lens on it. Yikes. And now it doesn't work. And she's like, can't afford to be without my camera. I need to keep working. And my first question was, use your backup, but she doesn't have a backup. So, I guess this is a little bit of a soapbox issue for me. If you're a working pro, and by that, I mean, if you are taking people's money to do the job, you really need to have a backup.
Yep.
And it doesn't necessarily matter that backup is at the same. We talked about this a few weeks ago,
right?
But it's really pertinent to this conversation. Like, you don't have to buy two EOS R5s.
Gordon was a perfect example. His Nikon took a battery issue or whatever, and he stepped over and got his Nikon from a few years ago. Now, it was APS-C too, I think, versus
great.
full frame. But
so you make some adjustments on site, but you're still working.
But it still worked.
Yeah.
And he got through whatever he had to do.
Dennis has a really, really good point here. And I'm a CPS member.
Me too.
So Canon has a program. Nikon has everybody has a program for their professionals. Canon's is CPS, Canon Professional Service. And you can be a member of the CPS just by having enough equipment to qualify.
And it's not that much.
I have that next level up. I think it's their silver. And if you call them to purchase that and tell them you're a PPA member, you get 20% off. It's $80 a year for your CPS, and you can get loaners. And you want to try that new lens, you want to try that new body,
and free cleaning.
You get on the list. Yes.
And let me tell you, when you and again, this is my experience with Canon, but I know that Nikon does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yada, yada.
Mike says NPS for Nikon.
Yep. So if you send something in for cleaning, it's back to you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
They do a great job.
And if they don't get it back to you on time, or if they can't get it back to you on time, they're going to send you a loaner
until they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no downside to being a CPS or NPS or whoever's member of their pro services. $80 a year.
Yeah.
For your free clean, your cleanings would cost more than that, right?
Yeah. So, and this can be broken down into, so we're talking cameras here, right? But this can be broken down into lights. It can be broken down into, you name it, light meters. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's what you use all the time.
Man, I'm always on my light meter.
Yeah, me too.
For my formula clients, for my clients that are on. So you know what? My light meter, this is a proud moment. My light meter is something I've never bothered to upgrade because it just works.
I've upgraded mine.
What are you running?
That Seconic 308, the little tiny one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the really new, it's like the 7 series something or other. It's like an iPhone, but it's not. And
yeah, that's a nice one.
It's beautiful.
I don't have that.
But man, I'm running my 358L, my Seconic 358L. It just works.
Yeah.
And I know how everything works buttons wise and controls wise. And I'm done. It's like I can make my readings without having to stop talking to my client. And
for those of you that don't have a light meter, they're not rocket science. Don't be afraid of them. The biggest thing you have to do is use them, and then you get used to them.
Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons to use a light meter. In my line of work, doing headshots, doing commercial, like executive headshots, we guarantee our corporate clients that we can create a look that is consistent for as long as they want to keep that look. So we can shoot yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and next week, and next year, all with that same formula. And it's consistent output every time. And the way you do that, you meter the face. The light is that f-stop on the face, set. You meter the backdrop. You meter the rim light. You meter all the way around that, all your main lights. And then once I've got all those settings, they're all recorded in Trello on a client list, and I can repeat that time and time again.
And he just told you that he went from 600s to 400s now in a studio
So you can't use light settings.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what was my point.
Yeah. I can't go, I'm 1/3 power on this light and 1/4 power on that light. I actually made that mistake.
I've done
to
it
start
too.
with. Right.
Yep.
And then I'm like, I changed lights, and I changed the modifier. And actually I took the furthest interior diffuser out of my light, because then your light's a little bit more efficient. I don't use them directly anyway. I don't need that added diffusion. I use my lights mostly in fly. So anyway, that just gave me a little bit of extra power out of the light, which extends my battery life. There's a lot of stuff working there. So, quality of the light didn't change, and yada, yada.
So years ago, I made the mistake of, I took my modifier, and on the actual modifier in ink, I put down the light I was using, the f-stop, how many feet, all that stuff, the thing on the camera, all that debris, right? My thought process was, I get out there, I go, okay, set it all up,
yep,
good to go. Well, then my camera's changed.
We lost our signal.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to try and reconnect, but we're in the red on the mirror. What a day.
Yeah.
We're going to keep talking through this. Sometimes the video drops out. Man, that signal was screaming earlier.
Now it's red.
And I lost my ability to control my OBS as well. I'll tell you what, man, we're right at the end of this. If I can get to my OBS this way.
No, you don't have any. Looks like you don't have any internet.
I'm over there. Yeah, everything dropped. This is based off of my Wi-Fi internally. So you're going to tell them?
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up. Good conversation. I'm going to put our send off up. And folks, if you can hear us, we're going to go ahead and wrap this here. For some reason, all of my internet, everything at our location has left us. I've lost my remote control of the broadcasting system, and I've lost my signal out. So I'm going to execute this. Next week's is an episode on trust. This is frustrating. We've had this far too often.